66 million years ago, in what is now northern USA and southwestern Canada, there was an animal that was said to be the only animal that has never been found with Tyrannosaurus rex bite marks in its fossil. An animal so dangerous that even the mighty T Rex was scared. And the animal in question is called Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus was discovered in 1908 in North America by paleontologist Barnum Brown. It was found in the exact same fossil sites where Tyrannosaurus rex is found. Now, the saying that Ankylosaurus has never been found with T-Rex bite marks is actually a myth, sort of. There has been fossil evidence of healed fractures, which would suggest that Ankylosaurus was engaged in brutal fights with most likely T-Rex, but there's no outright tooth marks found on any Ankylosaurus fossil. The healing of the fractures does go to show, however, that if Ankylosaurus was attacked, it typically survived, which, if you get attacked by T-Rex, surviving is a feat in itself. One of the most prominent features of Ankylosaurus was its armoured back, which was made up mostly of osteoderms, as well as a thick layer of keratin. This armour covered the animal's back and was effectively creating a bite-proof shield. The armour didn't just cover its back though, but it extended over the top of the animal's head, as well as down its tail. Of course, we would go amiss if we didn't mention Ankylosaurus' chief weapon against predators, a 2-foot long, 1.5 foot wide, 60-kilogram club. The club was disgustingly effective. One of the most infamous T-Rex fossils ever found, Sue, had broken ribs. The fact that the ribs were broken instead of punctured, and that Ankylosaurus can generate between 4 to 8,000 newtons, meant that Sue was unfortunately on the receiving end of an Ankylosaurus club swing. The only real weakness of Ankylosaurus was its soft underbelly. Only issue is actually accessing it. Ankylosaurus weighed up to 8 tons and was about 10 meters in length. It was surprisingly short, however, standing at 1.7 meters or around 5'5", which is around the average size of a woman in the UK. However, being short was actually a major advantage of Ankylosaurus. Due to its large weight but short stature, it was nearly impossible to flip over. And besides, if any animal actually even attempted to duck its head down to attempt to flip Ankylosaurus over, then it would be introduced to the club, which for the vast majority of animals is a death sentence. In a head-to-head fight between Ankylosaurus and T-Rex, Ankylosaurus would come out on top almost every time. The risk to reward ratio is just not in favour of the T-Rex. T-Rex wouldn't even bother trying to prey on full-grown Ankylosaurs, but instead would just try their luck with the juveniles. For an Ankylosaurus, all it really took was one well-timed swing, and the T-Rex would lose all ability to hunt or even walk. If the immediate effects of the club wasn't bad enough, the secondary effects may be even worse. An Ankylosaurus tail swing wasn't only lethal, but it could lead to the animal being on the receiving end of an infection. And unfortunately, Cretaceous North America did not have access to antibiotics. So if an infection occurred in any animal, their life expectancy dropped to at the very most a couple months. Ankylosaurus was also notorious for turning side on to any predator, bracing itself with its small yet stocky legs, and showing off its massive tail club. This threat display was often more than enough to discourage any predator. Ankylosaurus was a whole lot more than just a Cretaceous tank. It was sturdy, immovable, and incredibly deadly. This animal was more than a match for any other animal that dared to test its luck, and had one of the most broken builds that was ever seen within Dinosauria. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time we go through the Paleo Portal.